Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Bible Summary Series. Today we're starting in Joshua chapter 5. When all the Amorite kings west of the Jordan and all the Canaanite kings by the sea heard that the Lord had dried up the Jordan River so the Israelites could cross over, their courage failed, and they were paralyzed with fear because of the Israelites. At that time, the Lord said to Joshua, "Prepare some flint knives and circumcise the Israelites again." So Joshua made sharp knives and circumcised all the men at a place called Gibeath Haraloth. He had to do this because all the men of fighting age who had come out of Egypt had died in the wilderness. Those men had been circumcised, but the children born afterwards during their time in the wilderness hadn't been. When the circumcision was done, the people stayed in camp until they recovered. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Today I have rolled away from you the shame of Egypt." So the place was called Gilgal, which means to roll, to this day. The Israelites camped at Gilgal, and on the evening of the 14th day of the month, in the plains of Jericho, they celebrated the Passover. The very next day, they ate some of the produce of the land, unleavened bread and roasted grain. After they ate it, the manna stopped, and the Israelites no longer had manna from heaven. Instead, that year they ate the crops of Canaan. One day, while Joshua was near Jericho, he looked up, and he saw a man standing in front of him with a drawn sword. Joshua went up to him and asked, "Are you for us or for our enemies?" And the man replied, "Neither, but as the commander of the Lord's army I have come." Joshua fell down on his face in worship and said, "What message does my Lord have for his servant?" And the commander of the Lord's army said, "Take off your sandals, for the place where you are standing is holy." And Joshua obeyed. In Joshua chapter 6, the city of Jericho was on total lockdown because of the Israelites. No one was allowed to come in, and no one was allowed out. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Look, I have handed Jericho over to you, including its king and its mighty warriors. You and all your soldiers are to march around the city once a day. This you will do for 6 days. 7 priests will walk in front of the Lord's ark, each carrying a ram's horn. On the 7th day, you must circle the city 7 times, while the priests blow their trumpets. When you hear a long blast from the ram's horn, all the people are to shout with a great shout. Then the walls of the city will collapse, and the men are to charge straight into Jericho." So Joshua, son of Nun, called the priest and told them, "Pick up the Ark of the Covenant. Have 7 priests carry 7 ram's horns and walk ahead of the Lord's ark." He also told the people, "Move out and circle the city. Let the armed soldiers lead the way ahead of the Lord's ark." After Joshua finished speaking, the 7 priests carrying 7 ram's horns stepped out in front of the Lord and blew their horns, with the Ark of the Covenant following them. Armed guards went before the priest who blew the horns, and another group followed behind the ark, with the priest continuing to blow the trumpets. Before this, Joshua had ordered the people, "You are not to shout or even make a noise with your voice. Do not let a single word leave your mouth until the day I tell you to shout. Then you will shout." So the Lord's ark went around the city once that day, and everyone returned to their camp for the night. Early the next morning, Joshua got up, and the priest again picked up the ark of the Lord. The 7 priests with their 7 ram's horns walked in front of it, blowing their trumpets. The armed men went ahead of them, and another group followed behind the ark, all while the priest blew their horns. On the 2nd day, they marched around the city once more and returned to the camp. They did this for 6 days, only marching around the city once before returning to their camp. But on the 7th day, they rose at dawn and marched around the city in the same way. But this time, they went around it 7 times. On the 7th time around, when the priest blew their trumpets, Joshua called out to the people, "Shout, for the Lord has given you the city. Everything in it must be completely destroyed as an offering to the Lord. Only Rahab the harlot and all who are with her in her house may live, because she hid the messengers we sent. As for the rest of you, steer clear of the things set apart for destruction. Do not take them, or you will be destroyed, and you will bring trouble on the entire camp of Israel. All the silver, gold, bronze, and iron in Jericho are to be dedicated to the Lord and placed in his treasury." So when the people heard the trumpet blast, they shouted at the top of their voices, and with a mighty rumble, the massive stone walls of the city collapsed, and the soldiers charged straight in and captured the city. They destroyed every living thing and all the animals with the edge of their swords. But Joshua had already told the 2 men who had spied out the land, "Go into the harlot's house, bring out the woman and her family and everything she owns, just as you promised." So the young spies went in and brought out Rahab along with her father, mother, brothers, and all who belonged to her. They brought out her family and took them to a safe place outside the Israelites' camp. Meanwhile, the Israelites set the city on fire and destroyed everything in it. Only the silver, gold, bronze, and iron items were kept for the Lord's treasury. So Joshua spared Rahab, her family, and everything she owned, because she had hidden the messengers he had sent to Jericho, and she has lived among the Israelites to this day. At that time, Joshua warned the people, "Cursed be the man before the Lord who rises up and rebuilds the city of Jericho. When he lays its foundation, it will cost him his oldest son, and when he sets up its gates, his youngest son will surely perish." And sure enough, in 1 Kings chapter 16, verse 34, during the reign of King Ahab, a man named Hiel the Bethlehemite built Jericho. He laid the foundation on Abiram his firstborn, and set up the gates on his youngest son Segub, according to the word of the Lord, which was spoken by Joshua the son of Nun. So the Lord was with Joshua, and his fame spread throughout the entire region. In Joshua chapter 7, something horrible happened. The Israelites disobeyed God's instruction to destroy the items in Jericho, for a man named Achan, son of Carmi, son of Zabdi, son of Zerah, from the tribe of Judah, took some of the forbidden things, and this made the Lord furious with the children of Israel. Meanwhile, Joshua sent men from Jericho to the town of Ai, which lies east of Bethel, near Bethaven. He told them, "Go up and view the country." So they went and checked out Ai. When they returned, they said to Joshua, "There's no need to send the entire army. 2,000 to 3,000 men should be enough to defeat Ai. You don't need to make everyone go, since there's not that many people living there." So about 3,000 Israelite men marched up to the town. But they fled before the warriors of Ai. The enemy chased them from the city gate all the way to the stone quarries and cut them down along the way. Around 36 men of Israel died. After this horrible defeat, the rest of the Israelites lost heart, and they were paralyzed with fear. When Joshua heard the news, he tore his clothes in distress and fell face down before the ark of the Lord until evening. The elders of Israel joined him and threw dust on their heads. "Alas, O Lord God," Joshua cried out in dismay, "why did you bring this people across the Jordan at all? Just to hand us over to the Amorites so they could destroy us? If only we'd been content to stay on the other side of the Jordan. Lord, what can I say now that Israel has turned its back and run from its enemies? The Canaanites and everyone else in the land will surely hear about this. They will surround us and wipe us out. Then what will happen to your great name?" Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Get up. Why are you on your face like this? Israel has sinned. They have violated the covenant I gave them. They have taken and stolen of the forbidden items, then lied about it, and hidden them among their own possessions. That is why the Israelites cannot stand against their enemies. They turn tail and run, because they themselves are now set apart for destruction. I will not stay with you, except you destroy the accursed things among you. Get up and purify the people. Tell them, set yourselves apart for tomorrow, for this is what the Lord God of Israel says. There is a forbidden thing in your midst, Israel, and you cannot stand against your enemies until you remove it. In the morning you are to present yourselves tribe by tribe. The Lord will select the guilty one. Then that tribe must come forward with its clans, and the Lord will point out which clan is guilty. When that clan comes forward, the Lord will point out the guilty family. At last, each member of the guilty family must come forward one man at a time, and it will be whoever is found with the forbidden items will be burned with fire, along with everything he has, because he broke the Lord's covenant and has done an outrageous thing in Israel. So Joshua rose early the next morning. He had Israel present themselves by tribes, and the tribe of Judah was chosen. So Judah stepped forward, and the clan of the Zerahites was chosen. So the Zerahite family came forward, and the family of Zabdi was chosen. Finally, he had Zabdi's household come forward, man by man, and Achan, the son of Carmi, son of Zabdi, son of Zerah, from the tribe of Judah, was singled out. Then Joshua said to Achan, "My son, I pray you, honor the Lord God of Israel, and confess what you have done. Do not hide anything from me." "It's true," Achan answered. "I have sinned against the Lord God of Israel, for among the spoils I saw a beautiful robe from Babylon, 200 shekels of silver, and a bar of gold weighing 50 shekels. I wanted them, so I took them. They are hidden in the ground inside my tent, with the silver buried underneath." So Joshua immediately sent messengers, and they ran to Achan's tent. Sure enough, the stolen goods were there, hidden in his tent, with the silver buried underneath. The men took the items from inside the tent, brought them to Joshua and all the Israelites, and laid them out before the Lord. Then Joshua, along with all Israel, seized Achan, the silver, the robe, the bar of gold, his sons and daughters, his oxen, donkeys, sheep, tent, and everything he owned. They took them to the valley of Achor. "Why have you brought this trouble on us?" Joshua asked. "Today the Lord will bring trouble on you." And all Israel stoned Achan to death, and then burned everything afterward. They piled a large mound of stones over Achan, which remains there to this day. Thus the Lord turned away from his fierce anger, and that is why the place is still called the Valley of Achor, meaning trouble to this day.
We marched around in silent awe, trumpets echoing through the dawn. For 6 long days our faith held strong, until the 7th day came on. A mighty shout broke through the air, the walls of Jericho crumbled there, a testament to what God can do when hearts remain forever true. The walls came down by faith alone, a power greater than flesh and stone. But in our midst a shadow grew. Achan sin, the price of disobeying you. We sing of triumph and bitter regret, a warning never to forget. In the spoils of victory, temptation crept. Achan's heart in darkness wept. He stole the treasures meant for the Lord, a sacred trust broken by greed's sword. His secret sin brought sorrow and pain. The joy of conquest washed away in rain. In that valley of trouble, judgment was cast, a reminder that our errors can outlast. Walls came down by faith alone, a power greater than flesh and stone. But in our midst a shadow grew. Achan sin, the price of disobeying you. We sing of triumph and bitter regret, a warning never to forget. When pride and desire cloud our view, the blessings we've earned can slip from our hands too. Yet mercy calls to those who confess, to walk in light, redeeming our mess. The walls may fall, but so can our guard. Keep faith alive, the path isn't hard. Find alls came down by faith alone, echoes of glory in every stone. But shadows lurk where disobedience lies. Achan sin, a lesson in compromise, in victory and loss, His truth remains, a call to honor in joy and in pain. So let our hearts be ever aware that in every triumph God's love is there. May we walk in truth with courage to begin. For the mighty God forgives and cleanses us from